Yo, this your boy EC22 of the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Please, thank you guys for tuning in. But before we go any further, like always, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, but most of all, join the conversation. Yo, let's say welcome back, J Dub. He took he shot hooky yesterday, last week, y'all. He shot hooky, but his daughter had to go play some volleyball, so that was good. And welcome to the show, Christy P. What's happening, Christy?
Hey. WNBA is happening. That's what's happening.
Christy, tell the people a little bit about yourself, man. She's going to talk all things WNBA. We're going to just let Christy introduce herself to the folks right now.
Okay, I'm really good friends with Coach D-Way, and we go way back. And
Amen.
A couple of years ago, when BG, Brittany Griner, went to Russia, I just got obsessed with her, had prayer vigils, and she got home, so I got hooked on the WNBA, and it's been a deep dive ever since.
Yeah.
And then and then they have that new league now, Unraveled. Just exciting.
I love it,
man. It's
a
big thing. Everybody's jumping on now,
As they should, It's
been a long time coming.
Right now is it.
So, J-Dub, you missed last week, and we did a little deep dive into the Unrivaled, man. So we've already gave our opinions last week. So what do you think about the Unrivaled League?
It's been exciting. I was talking to Coach. It's 3-on-3, but on a shortened court. So there's not too many, uncontested fast breaks, but there's still a lot of action. I like how they've changed it in the fourth quarter to, you just get to a target score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's been successful. I think all they want is people to start watching. Obviously, there's a couple names missing from the roster that would have made more people watch, but I think it's been good so far. And Nafisha's balling. Man, Courtney Williams I forget how good she is. Every time I watch her play, it's hard to because she's so small in comparison to other ball players.
Yeah.
And she plays with total joy.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen her dad at the games before?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
so
fun. They're such a fun family, and she loves it. And you can tell by the way she plays. She can't help but smile.
Yeah,
she's a competitor. Deep competitor, right?
Yeah, her game one was okay, but she really came out in game two, and of course that's kind of took off since then. But
Mm-hmm.
Courtney, she's always been one of my favorites. But what do you think about a girl, Kayla McBucket?
Man, she's just getting better and better every time she plays.
Yeah.
Playing behind Fanisa over there. Playing not Fanisa, but she plays with wavy hair girl. I can't think of her name. Yeah. Not Nafisa. To play with the Connecticut Suns.
Alyssa Thomas.
Alyssa Thomas. Yeah. So being a point guard and the way they play ball, they play by committee, right? So they're always spreading the ball around. You're not going to have out just one scorer that's going to be way up there and scoring. That's the way that's Suns basketball. And I've been telling everybody that when Caleb first came into this league, man, she was a beast. I was putting up there with Maya Moore, and obviously, getting shipped around the league and stuff like that. People kind of stopped watching her. But this Unrivaled League, she been letting people know, y'all, my name ain't McBuckets for nothing. Okay, well, let's dive into it. So, Christy, WNBA, man, just give us a spiel, man, just on your thoughts on it and just the importance of really supporting women's basketball even now.
So, first of all, for TNT, so the Unrivaled is on TNT, and viewership is everything. And the first weekend of Unrivaled that was on TNT, it was the highest viewership of any sports ever on TNT. Which that's good. Let's clap for that. But
that's awesome.
So y'all tune in. They said the real test will be if it still has the viewership mid-team. But I can't believe anybody would watch one game and say, "Oh, I'm done." Because it's so fun. It's so fast. You can't blink. You cannot blink. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to pick a team to cheer for because it's all your favorite players. It's all it's all the beast in the W. So. They're doing, it's so fun to watch. And, Nafisa and poor little Brianna Stewart, though, her team is in last. She's 0-4. Bless her heart.
Brianna's game doesn't translate as well to this 3-on-3 high pace.
Good point.
So I
Because
mean,
her stride is so long, or what do you
it's
think?
just because she's a big girl. I mean, she's the big girl on the court. So so she needs time to get down to each side. Her game wants to slow the tempo down, so she can get ISOs, on the block or at the 12-foot mark, and then she wants to be able to go head to head with a defender that she got to set up for. So her game is not going to translate as well, but that doesn't mean that that she's not still a superstar and that we should support her.
You want to know what I think?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, she's been partying. She just won a championship.
She's definitely been partying.
Because this is the brainchild of her and Phoenicia Colliers, right? But it seemed like Phoenicia has been the one up front, saying obviously, because she's pushing his wave, and both women's made it to the finals. But I think Brianna just been having fun. I think she's just been really just enjoying this offseason, enjoying being a champion.
Yeah.
You can look at it, clearly tell her she's out of shape. She's nowhere in shape.
Yeah,
she's breathing heavy. She's slumped over. Her shot not. She haven't this look like this is the first time she did basketball game one since the championship. So, but it's I don't expect her to be great right now. But if she really wanted to, the girl can ball. I think now.
Oh yeah.
She's the best player in the whole league. In the whole unrivaled league, if she chooses to play that way,
when she's on, when
when she's on,
you can't stop her, and sometimes she's off just like anybody, but when she's on, she's unstoppable.
Facts.
And Brianna, for an athlete, is older than a lot of the other girls playing. She's 30. She's 30, and that's when you start to downgrade as an athlete. So I mean, all these other athletes are running up and down the court just as fast as they want to, and she's got to conserve energy.
Right.
That's such a good point, because another one struggling. I hate to say, because she's my girl. BG, Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Her team's in last, and she's 32. And Natasha Cloud, she's in her 30s. I love Natasha. She's getting traded. Natasha is. BG wants to get traded. Alyssa Thomas is going to Phoenix.
Really?
Today.
You're going back to Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And so it's an assumption that DeWanna Bonner is going to go too. But we'll see. We'll see.
And y'all had me doubting myself for a second. McBuckets plays for Minnesota, plays with Nafisa, doesn't play with Connecticut.
I don't.
Yeah,
I was like, in my head,
that's my type. My bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't had a mess up in 3 weeks now, so y'all.
Because I ain't been here in 3 weeks to call you on them.
That's okay. That's okay.
And I don't know about you three guys, but man, how exciting is it to have Christy on, because she's so passionate and she follows it, and I never miss a game because she's blowing me and my wife up, texting us, "Hey, turn it on! It's on!" And so so her and her husband and my wife and I, we're besties and have been, and so I'm excited that she keeps me informed, and that she's so passionate about the sport and all of it. So we're so happy to have you on, Christy. So
thank you. Thanks for having me. Have y'all seen that commercial on TV? There's that guy, and everybody runs from him because he's in an office, and all he talks about is basketball. So everybody runs. That might be me at work, but so I'm happy to be here and talk about it.
So awesome. I gotta ask this question. Let me put the, so I'm gonna throw a question out there, and I'm gonna give my response to it. And then for the limits, we got a comment coming in. Who is this? This is John G said at work. Just a quick NBA All-Star upgrade. All NIL teams versus all rookie team, all NIL kids feature dunk contest instead of NBA guys. I'll dive into that to a minute. I know what he's talking about. He's trolling the NBA right now. So basically said, and that's just where it always is, but we're gonna stick. So Christy, J-Dub mentioned it earlier about their two faces that are not in the rival league. And that's one, Asia Wilson, our reigning MVP, as well as our rookie phenom, Caitlin Clark. With them being absent from the unrivaled league, what are your thoughts? Does it help, or could you think they could have heard, or what are your thoughts about them being absent from the unrivaled league?
I mean, they offered Caitlin $1 million. Everybody else is getting $250,000.
Right.
But they offered her $1 million. I have no idea why she didn't do it. I mean, she just inked a deal with Nike for $28 million. Maybe that's chump change for her. Her fans are not the nicest. I mean,
But,
they're anyway. I think probably she would. I mean, but if they were on there, it would have added to it. I think Asia. I love her so much. When she plays, she's like a gazelle. She's so smooth, kind of like Nafisa, but. She has her book deal, and she just inked her Nike deal, the biggest Nike, like how many years, but
it's awesome.
I mean, it would have added to it probably, but I think they have such power behind the players that they have. And, Caitlin Clark, not her fault, but her fans kind of taint the game a little bit and make it go in the wrong direction sometimes. So, it's okay she's not there. Let's do it without her and see what happens.
Yeah, and speaking of, for those who are watching, if you don't know exactly what Chris is talking about, let me give just a brief. Her fans have become the most nastiest and biggest trolls that I've ever seen. I mean, obviously, I'm not everywhere around the world seeing how nasty social media can get, but when it comes down to the way women's sports has always been, women's sports and the fan base has always been a tight-knit group. Have always been, there's rivals, there's competition and stuff like that. But overall, the fans support each other because this is was a small community, now it's growing. And her fans is getting nasty. There are posts out there right now that are suggesting that when they look at the new facility that they're in right now, Wayfair Center, they look at it was constructed for a small fan base for a reason, guys. But when they take pictures of the small arena and then take pictures of when she's playing over there with Indiana, and they're trying to say, the Unrivaled League will fail because of Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's going to fail because she's not in it. And they're just being real nasty with it, and they're just the biggest nasty trolls. So if anybody watching that's a Caitlin Clark fan, please tell y'all, go to y'all meeting and tell them to stop it.
Right. I mean, and part of the brains behind this small, intimate group, this small, intimate venue, 850 people, it's a total fan experience.
Facts.
So because there's 4 teams play each day, the 2 teams that don't play are milling around, and us crazy fans can, have them sign our T-shirt and talk to them, get a selfie. I mean, when does that happen? There's another offset league called Athletes Unlimited, which is not. I mean, and I went to a game last year and it was so fun. I mean, and it was a small venue, it was at Fair Park, but more of the big time players are in Unrivaled because it draws a lot bigger paycheck. So of course it's going to be better people. But yeah, I think the Virgin debut of Unrivaled is perfect without Caitlin Clark. Her fans may not agree, but I think it makes it more pure for some reason. I don't know.
Right.
I like it.
So I've heard, Eric, your take on it, and I've heard Christy's take on it. Okay. Now I want to hear J-Dub's take on the same topic of what y'all are talking about Caitlin and Caitlin's fans and this and that and everything else. And now, J-Dub, I want to hear your twist on that.
So first of all, you're missing a couple more players. Kelsey Plum's not in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Brick's still coming back from injury.
Yeah.
So I mean, there could have been a more draw. I'm a fan of Caitlin. I think Caitlin is a nice person. She's not implemented any of these fans to be nasty. I agree. There's some nasty people out there. She took a break because she's been playing basketball for 2 straight years.
Yeah.
With no time off.
Mm-hmm.
So the break wasn't about the money. It wasn't about it wasn't being enough or was dropping a bucket. She needed a break from this fanhood nastiness, and she needed a break from running up and down the court. But I don't think it would have tainted the experience live because it is a small venue on purpose. And her fans are mainly in the Midwest, and they ain't gonna spend no money to go to this game.
That's true.
But it would have made the TV numbers higher, which is something Eric and Coach have heard me say the whole season last year, is that we want the TV numbers to get higher, because when the TV numbers are higher, you get more sponsors, and the sponsors pay more to be on during your game.
Mm-hmm.
So her fans can be nasty on social media all day long. They would not have made the trip to Miami, and it still would have pumped the viewership up. But I don't think it's diminished because she's not there. I think it's still good ball. And just like Brianna, I don't think Caitlin. I mean, obviously Caitlin can shoot from anywhere on the court, but she gets a lot of open threes in transition on a full length court. So she's not going to get as open as she does, and she can still handle the ball. She can still pass. She's got all the skill set, but I don't think it diminishes the league. But I certainly think the numbers would have been a little higher, especially in a virgin rookie year.
Yeah.
But still, it's been good. I think Skylar has been great. I love her. I've been a fan of Skylar Diggins forever.
Right.
Yeah.
All of them have been doing.
But Jay, you and I are hoopers. Like, we play basketball, and we know. So when you have a young Caitlin Clark in, you know what I'm saying, coming into the rival league, right? I know what she would have done in this league. Caitlin would be Caitlin. Caitlin playing 3-on-3, you ain't gonna be able to guard her. Just call it what it is, right?
Right.
She will be jacking up from half court. It's a shorter a court.
Man, that's like a 3-pointer.
Right. But that goes to Chrissy's point. Because she's there, she's jacking a point. They're trying to make her the greatest WNBA that ever NBA player that ever touched the court, and that's so unfair to the Sheriff's hoop. That's so unfair to the
she's got a long way to go.
Right. But her fan base wasn't. But her fan base just got around a few months ago, right? So they don't know. And so with her coming to the rival league, she would have done what she done. She's a phenomenal basketball player, and that would have spun that narrative even more. Like, look, even that she's going to be the coldest. Which, no disrespect to Caitlin, whatever praise she deserves, whatever praise she gets, she deserves to get, but not to the point to where you disrespect the league that came before it back in '97. You know, so that's what me and Chris is talking about. The National is not that. Yeah, she would draw viewership. Numbers would have been would that viewership translate to more dollars for the women? Absolutely not. I do want to see her next year. Because we want all the energy, but let these women have their fun right now. Let them introduce the league, and then when she get in, Kelsey Plum, let me just say this. First of all, Chris, you got any insight on Kelsey Plum and why she wasn't in it?
Okay, so so Brianna Stewart was the first one, and then Nafisa, and because I'm on X, that's the only social media, and they were giving hints, and it was so fun drawing everybody in. They were giving hints of who the next person was, and Kelsey Plum was about the fourth one in. She was the fourth one in, and then Dave brought it up the other day. Where the heck's Kelsey Plum? And I looked it up, and she did sign up. Plum Dog signed up. But then in November, she announced that she wasn't going to do it, and there wasn't any indication of why she wasn't going to. So she was asked, but I guess she had other stuff or other.
It's another person who needs a break. She just got married. She played, you know what I'm saying? These women, especially previous to this year, as soon as the WNBA season was over, they left. Huh?
She just got married?
No,
in the last year, sometime in the last.
Oh yeah,
huh?
Darren Waller.
They're divorced.
Yeah, they just got divorced. Darren Waller. I'm like, she got married that quick.
She's going to she's going to Los Angeles Sparks.
Yeah. Yep. So let's talk about that trade. You guys. So obviously, Seattle Storm just come out of their big litigation that was headed up by Jewel Lloyd, saying there was some misconduct and mistreatment, whatever, right there. So Jewel wanted out of Seattle Storm. The ideal is that when the new franchise team, when the Golden State teams was coming.
No, we lost you for a minute.
I thought that was me again.
Oh, well, I think Eric's gone too.
Yeah. I think every team involved in that trade came out better on the other side.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying. I don't know what part I left off at, but the Golden State, they didn't want her. Not that they wanted, they didn't want anybody new right now. They wanted to build their whole franchise with a bunch of new players, and they wanted to get their teams out of the draft, and then maybe after the draft look at free agency and stuff like that. However, the Los Angeles Sparks had the number 2 pick. And just like you, Coach, and I and J-Dub, we talked about it, that Paige Beckers is the best player by far that's coming out this year. So the Sparks traded the number 2 pick that's going to go over to Seattle just to get Plum to come over there. And then you got Jewel Lloyd going over to the Aces, taking over Plum. Now, that trade was blockbuster. Everybody came out. But J-Dub, I'm ask you, who will start at the Aces? Will it be Mama Chelsea Gray, Mama Gray, or Jewel Lloyd? Who would you want to start?
I would want Jewel Lloyd to start. I think her and Asia will play off each other a little bit better. But I'm not the coach.
Yeah.
Nobody asked me. And then back to your point, they had the number 2 pick. But if you look at who's available this year, and I looked into more of why certain people can't come out, it doesn't have to do with them not wanting to come out. It has the WNBA has a rule. All the top players are 5'9" to 6'1" guards. Yeah. So do you want to try to get one of those guards? I know the only one that's not a guard is that girl from France, Dominica or something like that. She's like 6'6", she's a center.
Malor, yeah.
There it is. So I don't think that they thought they could get better at the number 2 at the guard position.
They could.
So go ahead and draft a legit veteran to come help Cameron Brink develop some more. So I think every team came out of that draft better than they went into it, or out of that trade better than they went into it.
All right, so Chrissy, go ahead and jump into all the free agencies that's coming out, because I know you've been diving into that. Let's hear it.
So it's so convoluted. The Seattle Storm are reportedly acquiring the number. This is what they had to give because Jewel Lloyd is a core player.
Right.
Seattle Storm are acquiring number 2 overall pick in 2025 draft, which is potentially Kiki Irfan.
Yeah.
From and then they're getting this 6'7" from China that's on the Sparks that is going to Aces. And then the trade will send Jewel Lloyd to the Aces and Seattle's number 9 overall pick in the 2025 draft, which is Tahina Pow, South Carolina.
Pow.
Pow. I love her. And it's 26. They're also giving away their 2026 second round pick to the Los Angeles Sparks. And then Alyssa Thomas is going to Phoenix Mercury, and Ty Harris is going to the Suns, from Suns to the Phoenix Mercury, and Natasha Cloud and Rebecca Allen are leaving too, and plus the 12th overall pick. Because I guess if you're a core player, you can't just leave. You got to have a trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Seattle, they had all that litigation going on, and so Jewel Lloyd started it, and a lot of other women jumped into the lawsuit and stuff like that. So basically, Seattle, they just like Golden State, they're starting all the way over.
Yeah, and Jewel Lloyd is she just seems like such a sweet person. You know how the players have their tennis shoe. Have you seen Jewel Lloyd's tennis shoe? It's covered in smiley faces, and you know who designed it? Her godson, who's nonverbal autistic.
Awesome.
Oh wow.
And yes, and she's a dynamic human. I love her, and she's good. I mean, she's fun to watch.
And that makes sense. When I heard all this stuff coming out of Seattle, why Jewel didn't play that well in the finals, because I was really upset. And Jay was on the show. They heard me. I'm like, where's Jewel Lloyd missing the finals? Like, she was a no-show. But hopefully, going to Aces, man, that'll revive her love for the game. And just give them back to the championship. Man, but you said Natasha Cloud is going. Where's she going?
So Ty Harris from the Suns is going to Phoenix. You know, because Natasha just left the Mystics and went to Phoenix. Yeah. It seemed like she loved it, and so she is going to Connecticut, I believe, for Natasha Cloud and Rebecca Allen.
Okay. So Alyssa Thomas, so she's replacing Alyssa Thomas. Letitia's going to Phoenix, back home to Phoenix, and then, Natasha's going to take her spot. Okay.
And then BG is a free agent. Courtney Vandersloot, DeWanna Bonner, which it's assumed DeWanna Bonner is going to go with Alyssa Thomas, Brianna Jones, and Nika Agumake is a free agent too. But that hadn't, nothing's going to be inked till February 1st. So these are potential, but they're probably going to happen most likely.
Nika, she's up there in Seattle, right? Well, she's in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see her sister. I always thought Arika was the best one, but Mika Agumake, one of them, the twins, I don't know. I thought it was the one that's on TNT. I thought she was a better one.
That's Shanae Agumake.
Shanae and Anika.
Arika Agumbawale is the top star in Dallas, and Paige Beckers is the first round draft pick. Supposed to go to Dallas, but she's indicated she doesn't want to come to Dallas. So she might play her 6th year.
Oh wow.
Because she missed a year and then she had that COVID year. I don't know. That's just the chatter.
Yeah, all these women, with her, right? Because my niece did the same thing. She's playing her 6th year at Santa Clara. So, but that was her freshman year. So she must got redshirted her first year. Then
she was out. Beckers was out completely for 1 year being hurt.
Okay, so she still got a year. Wow.
And then plus
she's out 1 year, and then she had a red shirt 1 year, and so that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, she hasn't said for sure, and Diana Taurasi hasn't announced if she's going to play again or not.
Yeah, I think it's time for Diana. Don't spoil your legacy, man. Go ahead. Man, I love Diana,
but she's been there forever.
Yeah, I feel like DeWanna Bonner has been here because I remember DeWanna Bonner came in that crazy year when they had within those 2 years when they had that's when they had Maya Moore coming out. They had Angel McCarthy coming out. Mm-hmm. That's when they had our girl Skylar Diggins. All that big group came out, and I remember DeWanna, man, she took the longest to for her game to translate. Let me say it that way. But I mean, she's got up there. Everything. Sometime last year she was leading the league in scoring.
Yeah, she showed out last year for sure.
Yeah, so she definitely beats, but so I think she still got a little time left. But man, she seems like she's been there for a long time, man. Wow,
I think she's 36, 37.
Yeah. So wow, this is crazy. So man, Chris, you got anything else, any information for the WNBA before we move on to the next subject?
No, but if I'm gonna, put this in there, if y'all want to watch a fun game, check out a Notre Dame game. And check out Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles. Olivia Miles, I don't understand this. She's a junior, but she's also listed as number 4 mock draft pick, and she would go to Washington Mystics. But also, Candace Parker, I watched an interview with Candace Parker, and they asked her, who's your favorite NCAA player? Olivia Miles. They are so fun to watch. Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo. And Hannah Hidalgo is a good girl. Anytime they interview her, I give all the glory to God for giving me this ability. She's a good girl.
Awesome.
She's going to do great things. She's only a sophomore. So look out for Olivia Miles if she's drafted. I don't understand. She's listed, but she's only a junior. But
she's got to be 4 years out of high school. She doesn't have to be a senior.
Oh, okay.
Just 4 years. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't ask Christy one other question. I know we're fixing to wrap this up, this part of it up, but we got to get her take, what her opinion is, what her thoughts are, anything she wants to say about the girl out there at USC, Juju Watkins.
Oh, Juju. I mean, if Snoop Dogg comes to a game with a handmade jacket with your name on it, and she has such grace, she handles herself. She's got some great NIL deals with NYX Cosmetics. I mean, I think in her family, she's very family oriented. She's a good girl. I love her. She's gonna when all the sophomores this year go into the draft, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna be another Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark year, I think.
Yeah. Because you're looking at Hannah and Juju will be coming out along with a bunch of others. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the WNBA is in great shape in years to come with all these future WNBA stars. I saw something on Facebook. I can't remember. Her name was something ever. She's up in Lubbock, Texas. I forget her name, but she's the number 1 a girls basketball player in the country right now. She's up there in Lubbock. I forget her name, but it was Chelsea.
A high school girl?
Yeah, she's the number 1 in the country. I'm just gonna find her real quick.
Christy will have that. She'll text me later with that. I know her, so
I'll figure it out.
But yeah, I watched that story earlier. It was awesome. Her dad, she got into basketball. Because her dad just wanted to see what type of sports that she liked. And so she picked up a basketball one day, and Dad was like, I don't know if she really liked this game. So he, obviously being a ball player himself, not professionally, but just liking the sport, he said, I'm going to send her through the hardest drills possible to make sure she don't want to play this game.
Yeah.
But she never gave up. She never quit. And at this point, he was like, wow, wait a minute, this girl got something. And now she's the number one girl in the country.
It's awesome.
Up there in Lubbock. So yeah, I'm looking for her in years to come. Me watching her career from here. And it just randomly popped up in my Facebook feed. So that was pretty awesome right there.
And then one more thought about Hannah Hidalgo. She's 5'6".
Yeah.
And she gets in there. She's the top scorer. And she grew up with 3 brothers that are big old boys. And she grew up playing with them and kicked their tail. So she's going to go far. I love her.
So Christy,
you can't smile. You can't watch Hannah Hidalgo and not smile. It's just pure joy.
So the last time we talked about Hannah Hidalgo on the show, and J Dove made a great point, and I'm gonna ask you let me get your opinion. J Dove said because of her size, it may not necessarily put her at the level WNBA level. Now she probably get drafted, but would you think she'd be a standout grade at 5'9" in the WNBA?
5'6". She's
5'6". Yeah, 5'6". Yeah,
she's short.
5'6". That's short. Yeah.
Let
tall
me
for a
say-
woman, it's model height, but
I think that, let me give you one name, JJ Barea with the Mavs. He was a little guy, and he would just swoop in, and she's got the wheel. She's got the wheel, and she loves it. I think she can translate. And then there's that really good girl, Rory Harmon, who is also 5'6" from Texas. That's going to be drafted into the WNBA. Rory Harmon's the number 10 draft pick. I mean, time will tell. Time will tell. I hope it translates because I love that girl, and she's got a will, and she's got such talent. But Juju will go far. Yeah, I think Hannah will too. That's gonna be fun to follow her. And awesome. I mean, with such talent, as a sophomore, even last year they made headlines. As a freshman, so. She's not going to do anything but get better. Yeah, she's going to be in the game. I'll be cheering her on.
So I'm looking at Christy Dangerfield, 5'5". She played for the Wings.
Yes.
I'm looking at Dana Evans, 5'6". She played for the Sky. We're looking at my girl, Jordan Canada, for the Sparks. And you're looking at Maria Jefferson, who plays for the Mercury. And then Aria McDonald, like you said, who got drafted to Atlanta. So those are all 5'6", 5'5" girls that made it. But unfortunately, all the names I named, they're great players, but none of them has made an all-star. So
right.
But
Jordan Canada's doing good in the Unrivaled. She's doing good.
Yeah.
In this whole season.
Jay, what'd you have?
I'm just saying, I agree. Hannah is the truth. I'm a huge Hannah Hidalgo fan, but we need to remember that as it gets more popular and as it gets, everybody keeps getting bigger. Just like in the NBA players started out, Wilt Chamberlain was 12 inches taller than everybody. So as talent keeps increasing and we keep finding bigger girls like Juju's 6 foot, 6'1". So
something like that. And
So with those two talented ladies up head to head, and Juju has a significant advantage even before the ball's thrown up in the air. Because as talent keeps growing, height and size are going to matter more and more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Lauren Betts from UCLA, 6'7". 6'7".
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah. So wow. So y'all listen. For those of you out there who do
it makes it exciting.
Yes, it does. It does.
So for those out there, fans out there who are watching, y'all listen, man, please, y'all, we spend a lot of time talking about the WNBA because it matters. It really does matter, y'all. I have been following women's sports for a long, long time. My sister-in-law, she was big in softball. She played basketball in high school. My wife played basketball in high school. My niece is currently playing basketball at Santa Clara y'all, it just the support from women's sports as a whole. Because when you look at the previous grassroots efforts, young girls was dropping out of sports before the age of 14.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a lot of different reasons, right? The guys was looking at them. They're trained to work, which gave them a little bit a look of masculinity. Not that it gave them masculinity, but it gave them what they consider a look of masculinity. So the guys started looking at the cheerleaders. So young women started dropping out. Then the ones who did decide to stay in because they loved the sport, you look at how they was treated, the facilities. They're the have-nots versus the haves. A lot of times they don't get buses. They got a carpool to games. They have to sometimes don't have a locker room. They have to go and maybe to cafeterias and auditoriums to change. And it's just not fair. And so when you look at this Unrivaled League and all these asks, even now with these professional players, they don't have their own stadium. They're playing in the men's stadium. And you know how it is. You can't treat it a certain way. You got to come in through certain doors. They don't have full access to the whole facility. You look at the Dallas Wings playing at a college. So, but now with this unrivaled league, these women, I said this last week, these women got a chance to ask, and they got everything they asked for. And the one thing I'm just most so proud of is the Sephora Glam Room, because that's important to women. Women want to look pretty on and off the court, and that's what it is. And they got this whole room dedicated to just straight glam, glam, glam. And then even the little glam, the Sephora walk, to where that's where they come out of the glam room, they get to walk, and that's where they interact with the fans. Yeah, the little tunnel, they get to interact with the fans right there. But that's what they asked for. They asked for estheticians, which that's what women needs and stuff like that. I mean, men can need them too, but women really about skincare. So they got everything they wanted, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So WNBA, take note from the unrivaled league on how you can support these women. And child, because they bring their babies to the game. That is awesome. Love it.
Yeah, God bless that. I mean,
that's awesome.
I love that, because Skylar Diggins Smith had 2 kids in 2 years and then came back, and look how she's balling. You know, she got the best arms. She got the best arms in the WNBA, man. She's gorgeous. You know, facts, man. But y'all, man, that's like, so we're gonna move on. But Christy, man, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, Christy, it was awesome.
And listen, Christy, you have an open invitation to come join the show and talk WNBA anytime you want to. Just hit Coach up, hit myself up, and then we'll just bring you on, man. Anytime you want to jump on, man. All right, I really appreciate you.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have fun.
See you, Christy. Have a good rest of your night. Say hey to everybody. Bye.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, I just want to add one thing on everything you just said.
Yes, sir.
I'm probably in the minority. Coach has heard me say this for years. I'm more attracted if I know the girl can ball. Like, if she's, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to throw any shade at anybody, but if she's a solid 5 and she can ball, in my mind, she's a 7-8 immediately.
So funny. And I just another little footnote on top of all that is, EC, this is crazy. I remember J-Dub telling me about Skylar Diggins when she was at Notre Dame when she was a sophomore. He started talking to me about this girl.
We all did. We all look. We watched college basketball for Skylar Diggins. Let's call it what it was.
And to add on to this little flavor, I can remember vividly when my women's basketball fan had started. Is when my crush for Candace Parker at University of Tennessee started blowing up. I was like, I need to watch these ladies down the court.
Yeah, if we're going to do that, though, but also Jada had a thing for who was the girl up at Delaware State?
Elena Deladon. I appreciate girls who can run the court. I really do.
Yeah, it's funny. So.
Yeah, I used to like Ivy Lotta. I don't know why, but that was my girl, Ivy Lotta. Yeah, she had a terrible WNBA run, but she made it to the league. That's all that matters.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Say J-Dub for president.
I'm just saying, man.
Well, was that Z-Man?
That was Z-Man
on us.
Yeah,
he kind of snuck in on us, sir. He didn't even give us any time to look for him. He just freaking threw it out there at us.
All right, then. So let's go ahead and we got to talk about this before we get to the playoffs in the NFL playoff. Let's talk about the coaching changes, man. Wow, there's been some happiness in some cities. There has been parades thrown in some cities. Then also been some eggs and water balloons thrown in other cities.
Been some looting and
threatened to leave the country. So let's go down. Wow. So Pete Carroll. Wow. Pete Carroll is going to the Raiders, man. Great that coaching move, J-Dub, since you got your thumb down.
I'll grade it. It's probably a good move. I mean, again, I was a huge fan of Pierce, and I'm not a fan of Coach Carroll. I will never – I mean, even though I love the legacy of Brady, I'll never forgive him for not handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch. I will never forgive him for that. So as a closeted Raiders fan my whole life, I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's not a coach I want to root for. It's not a guy who inspires me to want them to be better. But
right.
Hey, man, he's got a good record. I'm not going to say great record. He's got a proven record, and we'll see if he can get in there and turn it over.
J. Cole, what you got?
Man, that one, out of all, actually, to be honest with you, out of all of the moves and the changes and the hiccups, that was the one that I was most surprised about. Because I mean, he wasn't on anybody's radar, nor should he have been. But hey, I mean, if they think he's the guy to get this team headed in the right direction, but all three of us will sit here and agree that Coach Pierce was already doing that.
Right.
He already had this team in the right direction. So whatever that means. So, but
I was looking at Pete Carroll, and because he's going to be the oldest coach in the league, I just want to know, like, man, has he found the fountain of youth? At some point, you got to retire.
Yeah,
he retired and came back. It's just like, I mean, and then you take on that team. I don't know. So,
and can he get his younger players inspired, and do they want to play for him?
Is he relatable to the younger kids?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that I guess they'll have some new sponsors there, and for the Raiders, I mean, like Geritol will be a sponsor, and Depends Underwear should be a sponsor. So we'll see, man. So
I'm really intrigued on how you pick his staff, because that's what's going to be the ticket for him, is to pick, because Pete Carroll is a motivator of men. Everywhere he went, people wanted to play for him.
True.
So we'll get that.
True.
We'll get that out of him. But it's a long season, and I don't know how long he's signed for. But that's that. Moving on to Jacksonville, they picking the Buccaneers offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. I saw that, and I mean, I recognize the name, but I had to look up exactly where it was at. And the Buccaneers had a good offense this year. They were my surprise every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, for him, you're leaving a semi-successful team on the rise with stars coming and going to a complete rebuild, I guess.
Yeah.
You have a starting quarterback, maybe. So I don't know if it was good for him or the Jaguars personally.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, somebody thought it was, and the GM made it happen. So we'll see what comes from it.
They didn't call you and ask you, J-Dub, what you thought?
They didn't call me that time. Some of them called me, but they didn't call me.
I hear you. No, that was another one that was surprising. Gosh, where do you even start with Jacksonville, EC? I mean, as a coach, I mean, you do have a above average quarterback that you can work with a little bit, but I don't know what else I don't know that I can name another player on that team. So that was surprising too. So what did you think about it, E? Did he freeze up on us, Jay?
He did freeze.
Yeah.
But he'll be back in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'll give him a second.
So
what do you think about it? Eric, what do you think about it?
So let me walk back. My coach Carroll, I'm gonna give that a grade C-. I think it's
I agree.
I would agree.
But this Liam Cohen, I give this a straight up. I don't even think they have a letter for this one. I mean, after Zedin comes what? I don't know.
Let's
get it back to AA.
Because look,
let's give it a G. Give it a G.
A year ago, he came out of college coaching in Kentucky. That's what I'm looking at. And then you have 1 year at Tampa Bay. That all of a sudden now you become a head coach. Yeah. And what I saw at Tampa Bay had a good team. They made it to the playoffs. But Baker had to take out his do-it-yourself kit too many times. And a 1 year coordinator, when you had a quarterback that has to constantly take out the do-it-yourself kit, that's not enough.
Yeah.
We all know that the Trevor Lawrence ain't that take it out to do yourself guy. He's no Baker. And so I don't. And there was too many head coaches. Right, there's too many other guys out there that was available for you guys to get this guy. It didn't make any sense. Now, I don't know if money had to do with it, because you're still talking about the defensive coordinator for Kansas City, Spagnuolo. He was still out there. Heck, I would have loved at least to see Robert Saleh go over there and coach that squad. I know most people try. I like Robert Saleh. Don't you ever
I like
talk
him
about my
as
coach
a person.
Robert?
I like him as a person.
I don't think anybody's the right fit, but the guy that
you need experience. That's what I'm saying. You need experience. And that's just not enough.
And I don't even know if this guy would have even considered the job or not, but man, I think Cliff Kingsbury would have been good with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen what Jim Harbaugh's done with Justin out in the Chargers, the LA Chargers. And so, you get a guy like Cliff that's been a head coach. He's been a very successful quarterback coach. He's been a very successful offensive coordinator. And you get him in there with Trevor. That may have been a better fit for me. But again, they didn't ask me either, J-Dub.
I just think again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I think whoever took it. I mean, I guess you're either going to get all the reward or all the blame, right?
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's hard to get a Kingsbury. It's hard to get the Kansas City defensive coordinator.
Or maybe even Kellen Moore go over there or something like that, because I'm not
a better fit. That would have been a better fit for sure.
Yeah. And it's just we talked last week. We talking about Steve. They interviewed Steve Spagnuolo, Ben Johnson, Eric Glenn, Patrick Graham. Don't know why they've interviewed him, but they Liam Cohen was on the next interview. Kellen Moore, Todd Monken, Joe Brady, Brian Flores, and Robert Salah. Now, out of those, you're talking about why not check Joe Brady? I mean, that dude is.
For some reason they forget about him. I don't know why his name doesn't, circulate more than it does. But here's one thing about Jacksonville. Now, Eric, I want to hear your take on it, because I think J-Dub and I have a gentleman's agreement. We kind of agree, disagree. I think Trevor Lawrence is much better than what I think J-Dub does, and there's no shade there. It's just a matter of opinion. And if you had a guy, the good offense coordinator, and that was a guy that was a successful quarterback coach that was working with Trevor, maybe. What's your take on that?
Oh, it's simple. This Doug Peters failed the Jacksonville Jaguars
badly.
Now, when he got hired, we all screamed, "That's a great fit," especially after Urban Myers left. Doug Peters was the perfect fit, but then now, all these years later, it didn't work out, and unfortunately, he lose those years. You don't get those back. Now, the next coach to come in is going to have to come in and try his best to salvage what's left of this guy's career, and what they can do to the organization before they start doing a complete overhaul, right? When they get rid of everybody, right? And I don't think Liam Cohen is the guy to do it. I just don't think. Now, it could be a situation where everybody interviewed said no, because
that could be a possibility.
That's probably the most likely possibility.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, EC, I don't know if you're there or not, but anyway,
I don't think Joe Brady would have left the Bills to go be the head coach in Jacksonville.
I don't know that Cliff would have left to go be the coach. He's coaching Jaden Daniels. Probably the best up and coming kid in the league, and to go coach at Jacksonville,
he might want to run it back. They got this close. He might want to run it back to get a championship. You never know.
Yeah.
Moving on to right now. So the Saints haven't announced a coach yet. I think they should stay with Rizzi, their interim, because I think that the team rallied around him. That just makes sense. We talked about that last week. But the New York Jets, they went and landed Detroit's defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn.
I think that's the best one so far.
Okay, what's your grade?
I grade that. I mean, again, he may not have all the pieces he had in Detroit, but I graded a B plus, easy. Especially if they can get, I don't know what Rodgers is doing, and we've talked about him retiring. I get it, but if they can get a 60% Aaron Rodgers and win the game on the defensive side and let Rodgers be Peyton Manning at the Broncos and just drive the bus a little bit, then I think they can be set up. Obviously, he has to move some pieces around to get the defense the way he wants it. But I think I think that's the best hire of all of them.
What you got, Coach?
Man, Aaron, I'm a monster fan of Aaron Glenn for so many reasons, and I'm so excited for him. And I think with his defensive brilliance, I think he's going to go to the New York Jets. And like J-Dub said, they're going to get a couple pieces. And I think he's fixing to put a defense on the field like nobody's never seen before. Because the Jets were right there defensively. They're right there anyway. Yeah. And now you get an Aaron Glenn and his intensity and his great mind. They're going to be great defensively. And I love what J-Dub said. If they can get just an average Aaron Rodgers for a year, that'd be fun to watch. That
just
team.
A middle of the pack quarterback. On all the ratings, he ranks number 16. That's the guy they want right now.
So I mean, I give it a high B plus.
Yeah. Now I'm with y'all, man. I definitely give it a B minus. What's going on, Brandon Marshall? Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey,
sir?
What's up, B? Good to see you, man. Jump on in whenever you're ready.
Yeah. I'm with y'all. Give it a B plus, B minus, B plus. For the exact same reason. Aaron Rodgers. You cannot expect the guy his age to go out there and try to play fast-paced offense. Mm-hmm. So you let the defense stay on there. I mean, obviously your defense is going to be getting them out. But if Aaron Rodgers can, with a low-scoring game, can control the pace of the game himself, he got the teams right where he wanted them. But if your
Quit
defense is
slinging the
sucking,
ball.
yeah. If your defense keep putting them on the field, it's like, well, god dang.
Yeah.
That's right.
My only
Every time we get on the field, we have another score down. We 2 or 3 scores down. So I think, this slow pace game, and I think Aaron Glenn, I think that him and Aaron Rodgers are going to have a great relationship. You know.
So I was getting ready to say
that.
You beat me to it, but I hope that whoever Aaron Glenn brings in for his offensive coordinator, and he'll hire somebody awesome. I hope that Rodgers will buy into that, whatever system that is. So, because Aaron, he's got to quit thinking that he's this 30-year-old, 32-year-old quarterback. He's not. So if we can get the right OC in there and put him in the right situation, they can be successful. Hey, what's happening, my brother Bob? How are you, buddy?
And the right running back core. They need 2 or 3 guys they can switch. They don't need an every down back. They need 2 or 3 guys that are coming in and out that the offensive coordinator trusts.
So who's they back right now? They got the young
man.
kid.
I don't know. They went through so many. They got Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, and
they have that one. Brees Hall
played a lot.
Brees Hall
still there.
Yeah,
that's right.
So he should be the every down back. Brees Hall should be.
Okay.
And if so I think he should be
same
the one.
age, all about the same size. I mean, they're all from big schools, so they should all be able to at least handle, 8 to 12 carries a game.
Right. So let's do a real recap. So we gave the Raiders, I gave them a C-. We gave Jacksonville a Z- or Z+, whatever. So the worst hire ever. The New York Jets, we all give them a B+. And Saints haven't done anything yet. Let's move on to
how about Chicago?
Let's hit Chicago right now. Chicago. They landed the coveted Ben Johnson over there. Wow.
And as not a hater, I'm not going to say a hater, but I'm not a Chicago Bears fan, and I got some cousins that I root against them on purpose, and this
Love
and
it.
Other. I think that could be the best thing for Caleb Williams that is going to happen in his career. Even if Ben's not successful, the things that he can learn from him over the next 2 or 3 years can grow into something great. I mean, I think I give this one a B+ too. This is just as good as the Aaron Glenn one. Yeah. He's got some rebuilding to do, and you got a second year quarterback, and they're not always, the greatest to take a lot of instruction, but I think the sky's the limit for that one also.
And I like what EC said a couple weeks ago about the and it could have been J-Dub, about the chemistry of the head coach and the quarterback.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about that a week or two ago. And if Ben and Caleb can develop the chemistry, and if Caleb will buy in, Ben's system is proven. We've watched Detroit just wear people out all year offensively. And so I think Ben will do a good job. He'll keep it short and simple and sweet and keep everything, ABC, 1, 2, 3, get out, get the ball out of your hand kind of thing. And I'm excited about that. I think that's an A. That's an A.
It could be an A. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Ben has been every possible coaching position on the offensive side of the ball. He was with the tight ends, and he was with the running backs, and he was with the wide receivers. So he can talk to all of them, and he knows what all has worked for him. So I mean, again, it could be an A. So you could see Chicago. The NFC North next year could be ridiculous. You understand?
Yeah. And before EC talks, so Brandon's saying that as a Bears fan, I'm a little concerned about you for that. Chicago's a revolving door for head coaches and quarterbacks. And Brandon, you're right, but let's hope that this is the right fit.
This could be it.
Let's hope this could be the thing that changes all of that. And I'm believing it. That's why I'm giving it a grade of an A. So
hey, it's easy for us to be optimistic because, like I say, neither one of us has been following the Bears as much as Brandon has.
Right.
So Brandon's like, I ain't buying it.
Brandon's like, I ain't buying it.
I ain't buying it.
I got my buddy I had coffee with this morning.
What does eBay say?
The Bears are who we thought they were, B+.
Yeah.
Z-Man.
And we let them off the hook. That's what he said.
I had a coffee this morning with a longtime buddy of mine. he's an older guy, and he's been a Chicago Bears fan for forever, and he's trying to be cautiously optimistic about this hire. But I mean, he's cracking me up.
My thoughts were simple. I said it way when they announced who's going to be the coaches that's going to get interviewed. I said the only place that makes sense for Ben Johnson is Chicago.
Yes, you did.
For a lot of different reasons. For the main reason for me is that he's going to. First of all, he's a darn good coach. The way I know they lost that last game, but the way he coached that game, it was all on Jared Goff. He just lost the game interception. But the plays he was calling, you talking about Caleb Williams is a better athlete than Jared Goff. Not a better quarterback, but a better athlete right now.
Oh, 100%.
Not yet, but he could be. He could be.
Right, he could be. And the fact that this is not – Ben Johnson reminds me of one of them old school coaches that every year he have a different playbook. Mm-hmm. Every year he gets in the summertime and just throw that out. That was last year. They seen all that. Let's do it. Yeah. You don't see that much in today's game, right? Right. They just flip it, do other things and stuff like that. But I think he's young enough. He's smart enough. He's going to throw a playbook in Chicago. They're going to all have to be smart and mature and brilliant enough to just to pick up and put. And he's going to put an offense together that's going to really highlight the greatness of Caleb Williams that we saw in college.
I agree, and I mean, I'm not throwing any shade at Goff, okay, because he had a great year. I'm a big believer that the reason why Goff has been so successful is because of Ben Johnson. Okay,
right.
That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, agree 1,000% with that statement.
What's Bob? When I say spoil, I mean ruin a good thing. The McCaskies won't spend the money to put a good offensive line in place to protect Caleb. This is from a former Bears fan, current Packer fan. Good insight. Good insight, Bob. Okay.
So just for you fans out there,
just
for you fans out there, if you have a team or had a team and now you're currently switched your teams to another team, y'all know what that means? Bob Nowinski, you are a
Fairweather fan.
We love you, Bob.
Nowinski,
not the but Nowinski. No, but I love that, but he's like me. You fan of one team, the team don't do good. Hey, be a Fairweather fan. Go join another team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not better than your in-conference rival? So yeah. But no, and I give this one an A- because I think and the attention that Caleb now the attention is off Caleb. It's on Ben. Everybody gonna watch to see what Ben has to do. So we love it, man. Now we got to talk about it.
Here we go.
He said, amen,
Fairweather fan.
We got to talk about it.
Here we go.
Before we talk about this last one, let's go ahead and just it's going to be real quick. The J-Dub, are you happy with the Super Bowl?
No, I'm not at all. I knew, listen, I talked to all the people who bet that I don't bet anymore, but I talked to all the people who bet, and they asked me what I thought, and I said, well, the two teams that are going to the Super Bowl are the two teams that I do not want to be in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, I wanted the Bills versus Jaden Daniels. I don't even care who he plays for. So Coach will tell you, I've said through my whole life, and it's always fun looking back on history. It's not fun necessarily to be in the history as it's going on. And looking back, as much as we all are rooting against Kansas City, the whole world's rooting against them, it'd be cool for them to be the first 3 Super Bowl winner in a row. I mean, I get that because you don't even get that opportunity very often.
Right.
But I think I heard somebody call it Chiefs fever or Chiefs hay fever or something. We're just tired of seeing them because that's what we do when a team dominates for too long. We get sick of seeing that team. And I don't even know how I want to say it, the borderline calls that always go their way, the missed call here that went their way, the extra call here that went their way. I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if it's accidental, but whatever it is, we're all sick of seeing it. Right. With all that being said, I mean, I'm going to watch the damn game and hope Saquon Barkley racks up 300 yards on them. But, I mean, I'm all in. I cannot believe I'm fixing to say this out loud. I'm all in for the Eagles. I mean, I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I'm a huge Saquon Barkley fan. I think the last time I rooted for the Eagles, it was Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens playing the Patriots. It's been a while. So, I mean, it is who it is, and it is who everybody expected it to be. But it wasn't who I was rooting for personally.
Coach, what you think? Is this the Super Bowl you want to see?
Oh gosh, no. Oh gosh, no. I mean, I can't stand the Eagles. And even worse than that, I can't stand the Eagle fans. And most of my family on my father's side are all born and raised in Philadelphia. They all went to Penn State. And so, I mean, I get it. And they know, and they, they can't stand the Cowboys and the Cowboy fans. But there's some big name guys playing in that game, in this game coming up, though. Big name. And Jada and I talked about it. If Saquon Barkley is not the MVP, then I don't know what the hell the MVP even is.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I don't know what the MVP means.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was a special dude. I was screaming when he hit that touchdown run. I'm just screaming up and down.
I am too on the first play from scrimmage. Are you kidding me?
I'm like, this is crazy. So my opinion is no, it's not the Super Bowl I wanted to see. I wanted to see Washington and Buffalo play. Either Washington or Eagles. Either one would have made sense to me, but I wanted to see Bills finally get their redemption against Kansas City. And just like it is, another tight game, another good game, but it come down to what some can consider maybe the ref bad calls, whatever. Some wasn't as obvious as others, but still, it's just sad to see Josh Allen go out again. In this way, in a close game, and that's just unfortunate for him. But at the same time, listen, I like dynasties. I love dynasties. Yeah. I love seeing dynasties. That's just what it is. Because I'm like, let's see how far this goes. Just like my hair. My hair was intended to make sure I wasn't balding. That's the reason why I grew it out. And after a while, I'm like, well, let's see how long it's gonna go. That's just what it was, Let's just see how far this this dynasty can go. So I'm just. If they lose, I'm okay with it. But the fact that they've made it this many times, the fact that they've been to the conference championship this many times, it's good to see. And I think it's good for me. It's good for football because now the other teams know what they got to do. You got to beat that.
And it's always good to have a villain. And I don't mean them like a villain, like they're bad people. Listen. Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end ever play. Patrick Mahomes is going to end up being wherever he is, great, whatever. Everybody loves Andy Reid. But when you're on top for too long, you automatically become the villain, whether you're a bad person or not. Everybody doesn't have to be the bad boys of Detroit to be the villain, right? So they've been there long enough that everybody's trying to beat them. So they are the if everybody's trying to beat you, that means everybody's rooting against you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I want. I mean, there's obviously we're not going to be able to answer the question, but I just want to throw this out there to those who are watching now, maybe watching the rebroadcast. Man, listen, why is it Patrick Mahomes has become hated? Because how come that when you have a player or a team that's so good, you have to automatically hate? Because I watched Brady get this. I stood up for Brady. I've screamed Brady everywhere I go. I just go in a crowd of people just scream Brady just because. And people saw especially down here, right? Maybe up north they wasn't, but down here in the South, people hated Brady. Then the whole Deflategate scandal. People call him a cheater and stuff. And now Patrick Mahomes, people are starting to not like him. And the dude has a clean. There's nothing cheating about him. He plays a good game. He plays a traditional NFL quarterback game. You love it. But just because he's winning, I remember the second Super Bowl, it was like fanfare all over. He got fans all over the place. Now he's going into his fourth Super Bowl. Now it was like, oh, this guy again. Can anybody explain to me where that come from so quick?
It's the same thing I said, right? So at first, only your division can't stand you because you're beating all them. Mm-hmm. And then it evolves into your conference can't stand you because, I just lost my light. I ain't moved long enough because because you're beating all them. And then it becomes everybody hates you because you can't lose in a Super Bowl. So it's what happens when you're at the top. It's what happens in any sport with any team. If you're on the top for too long, then everybody starts rooting against you. And it's not that they're rooting against you more. It's just that there's more of them rooting against you.
But Jada, can you hear me? I don't remember this happening for Troy Aikman and the Cowboys. I don't remember this happening for Joe Montana and John Elway.
That's right. That's right, Jada. That's right.
Brother, the whole country hates the Cowboys.
Yeah. And the whole country hates Troy Aikman.
I mean,
because of those 90s teams.
Oh, yeah. But back then, when we was watching it, like, everybody wanted to see the Cowboys win. Everybody wanted to see that Cowboys dynasty. That's how they became America's team. Now it's hate because of the lack of success since the 90s and the sometimes the fan base can get a little bit of too much to handle. That's the reason why people hate him now. But back then, like everybody root for him, just like when the 49ers win, everybody rooting for them. John Elway, you know.
It seems like it's after your third. After you're third in any sport, people start rooting against you.
Fair enough. Yeah, because that's what happened with
Uh-oh.
You finish that statement. That's what happened with the Bulls. That's what happened with the Lakers. That's what happened with. I mean, everybody started hating on Golden State for dancing and showboating during the games. The whole statement: "If you ain't us, then you hate us." That's what happens.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Go ahead, Coach.
I got a couple logs I'm going to throw on this fire. I think that they're good. One, people forget. I forget how people forget. Patrick Mahomes is beating people with his legs too. He's running.
Yeah,
you got him D'd up and everything. You know, nobody's open. All of a sudden, he's 20 yards down the field. You know, before anybody touches him. So that's the first thing. He's made some great plays with his legs. Number two, I don't think the Chiefs' defense gets enough props.
Yeah.
Their defense is really good.
Their secondary is so good.
And number three, my rant that I went off on last week, the Bills did it. The Bills took Kelsey out of the game. They totally had him covered up.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid's creative, clever, brilliant, genius offensive mind, he said, okay, y'all want to take him out? That's fine. We'll just do this and this and this and this and this. And then if you got everybody covered, then Patrick will just run for 25 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So
wow. And we said that last week, Coach. I told him, I said, hey, Bills, as you're watching, cover up.
And they did.
And they did.
No, good for the defensive coordinator for the Bills.
Yeah, they must watch the FairWeather Fan show because
that's exactly where it came from.
but they still lost. I mean, because this Joe, I forget his name, Joe Brady. For the first time I seen him, he looked a little lost out there.
Man.
Sean McDermott looked a little lost out. They didn't know what to call, how to call. I mean, even
Agreed.
The fourth down play, the 4th and 1, they try to do the tush push. It's like
I agree.
That y'all do that every now and then, but that's not your thing.
That's not y'all's thing.
That's not the way y'all play. Y'all playing afraid. It's just like get the ball.
There was a couple.
Y'all can get 1 yard.
That was the big one, but there was a couple, 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 2s, and I was like, why did they call that? Like that would have been a perfect tight end drag or a wide receiver hook or
that
anything.
That was my biggest complaint was the play calling. And here's the deal, and we talked about it. For the Bills to go into Kansas City and beat them in Kansas City, everything for the Bills, they had to play perfect. The play calling had to be perfect. The execution on both sides of the ball had to be perfect, and it wasn't.
Right.
And so we saw what happened.
Far from perfect.
Yeah.
So there it is, y'all. So we none of us are happy what we see in the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, it is Super Bowl. We all will be watching. And I'm gonna throw this out there, not to throw shade at anybody that I've talked to or been in connection with for a while now. But I will say this just because, listen. You cannot, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, you cannot be a sportscaster, broadcaster, or sports podcaster and you don't watch sports.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, you don't do that. Yeah. I've heard a lot. I've heard to where we get on these podcasts and people come and visit, they leave comments and they, I didn't watch the game. I'm just going to get the highlights. And I get if that's because of timing and scheduling and stuff like that. But if you take yourself out of the game because you don't like what you see, then you're unqualified to speak at this capacity, at this level.
Preach.
Go ahead.
I sat on this podcast and said I would not watch Notre Dame play Ohio State. Monday night, I watched at least 75% of the game.
And I knew you would. You know what I'm saying? And I knew you would. Because at some point, because we know what we got to do, because we know Tuesday is coming around, we got to at least put our eyes on it, right? Whether we like it or not, whether we we got to at least watch something. If we got to go back and watch and rebroadcast, record it, but that's just to do diligence as us as podcasters that you got to watch it. Because I've had, not this show, FairWeather Fan, we're doing great. J-Dub, Coach D-Wade, man, you guys are superstars in this thing. But I've been on a lot of different shows, and I've heard people talk, and I'm just like, what level of bad energy there when people don't know what the heck they're talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's just I just want to. I've been meaning to say that for a while, but especially when it came down to like WNBA talk, there are so many podcasts out there. They be talking about WNBA, like y'all have not watched a game, yet y'all got an opinion.
They don't know what a floor general even means.
Exactly.
But even furthermore, listen, I don't watch sports to do the show. I watch sports because that's a big part of my life. I enjoy it. I enjoy the competition. I enjoy seeing who can beat who. I enjoy seeing all that stuff. And I'm just blessed that y'all like me to be on here talking my nonsense once in a while.
Right.
Awesome.
And we're gonna do that plug in. Let me put this in there. Let me write this up.
And while he's doing that, I mean, like I said a minute ago, we've got some superstars that are playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, some big time guys. So it's not who we wanted in there, but we're gonna get to see some good football.
So
hopefully.
So let me address this real quick. A lot of people has been, it's what a FairWeather fan really mean. Now listen, I get it. It's always Eric, you're a bandwagon rider, because y'all see my antics on social media. I throw up all the posts because I have all the NFL teams and stuff like that, and I love to play off there. Like I bounce back and forth as like a bandwagon rider. But at the end of the day, man, FairWeather fan it's the word fair that I look as fair. We love sports. That's all it means.
Mm-hmm.
We have our favorite teams that we root for, but at the end of the day, I cannot turn off sports because my team is not in it, because that's not fair.
Facts.
That's not fair. Any team that's winning and doing good is fair weather. Rain, sleet, or snow. If they're doing good, it's fair weather, and we're going to watch. So what FairWeather fan means that you simply, just like J-Dub says, we like sports. And then we, in turn, get to talk about it. I was a FairWeather fan long before I started the podcast. So I became a FairWeather fan in 2016, the podcast, and started out until 3 years ago. So yeah, I've been really, that's what it was. We love sports. So you're going to see me use and play off the word, but I just want to throw it out there. Let's finally end the show. We got to dive into it. And so,
what took so long? What took you so long?
I'm going to let you sit. You've been waiting, so you go ahead and take a stab at it. I couldn't even put his name up here, first of all, because it was too long.
Can't spell it.
I went to public school, but yeah, go ahead, Coach.
Boy, it was a super easy and safe pick for Jerry. It was really affordable. It's probably very affordable. It was really convenient, very easy, it kept, just made it simple. But I think at the end of the day, and I haven't talked to Jerry, we hadn't had lunch yet. We probably will soon. But I think that Brian Schottenheimer and Dak have a little chemistry. Yeah. And I think that Brian knows Dak's strengths and weaknesses. And I think Jerry, at the end of the day, is thinking that's probably the best fit for a guy that I've grossly overpaid to be my quarterback. So that's what I'm going with. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Jada, the floor is yours.
But Coach, let me ask you this question. You said that Brian Schottenheimer and Dak has a great relationship. So there are a lot of people Dak probably have great relationship. He have great relationship with his wife. He have great relationship with his father. He has a lot of great relationships.
Yeah.
But why? Why did Jerry hire those guys?
I said because I think it was affordable. I think it was easy and convenient. Jerry and Steven took the cheap and easier. I agree 1,000%, Bob. That's so true.
And most importantly, that everybody's missing, and this is no shade on Schottenheimer, I think he is a good coach. I think he's a good offensive coordinator. Jerry wants a puppet, and I'm not calling him a complete puppet. I'm not saying he's not going to have his own opinions. I'm not going to say he's not going to buck back a little bit, but at the end of the day, he can't get somebody who's not going to listen to him on moves. Jerry is still general manager, and you're going to play the players that I paid because I paid them. So that limits who's even willing to come to Dallas.
Yeah, and you see, you said it earlier, we don't know who all he probably reached out to that kind of said, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not coming to coach the Cowboys and be involved in, not be able to run my team. So who knows who he reached out to and basically just kind of blew him off and said, no, I'm out. So maybe
rumor has it that Kellen Moore really wanted the job.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, he did. And he did. But That's not.
I'm not. I think that's equal. Brian Schottenheimer, Kellen Moore. I mean, I'm not going to take one over the other. If you're making me pick in a draft, I mean, I'll flip a coin.
Yeah, but Kellen's already been here, and he's already. And the fan base didn't really like him when he was here, and he's had some success, but it's pretty easy when you got number 26. And number 1 in the backfield, you can sure look good as an OC, man.
But Jada, everybody loved Kellen his first year. His second year, they loved him. Then it got down to what Kellen don't run the ball, and so that was Mike McCartney's claim to fame. Get him out of there because he don't run the ball. The fan base been saying that. He went over there at the Chargers, didn't run the ball well. Then he goes over to Philly, and then all of a sudden Saquon becomes, say, a front runner for MVP. Is that more Saquon or is that more?
That's
Kelly?
Saquon. That's
1,000%. 1,000%.
That's Saquon. I could go be the offensive coordinator of the Eagles and look like a stud.
Yeah, like every other play, hand it to 26, and then you'll be good. You'll be a good coach.
And I know the three of us and most people watching. Saquon came ready. Like, he was good on a bad team last year, right? He almost went back to the bad team because he was so good. So it's not like he had to coach up Saquon to get this 2,000-yard season.
Yeah. So I'd be curious to see who Brian brings in, or I should say who Jerry brings in as assistant coaches and this and that and everything else. But I mean, you know what? It doesn't matter who's coaching the Cowboys because Jerry is coaching the Cowboys. Yeah. And Jerry's not going to spend any money because he spent it all on Dak and on CD. So I don't think he has any money to spend. So
I think he's still paying Ezekiel from that contract abomination 10 years ago.
So if you can't get the players in here, if you can't get a few pieces in here to be competitive, which they can't, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So
and I hope I'm wrong.
Coach, so I'm gonna throw this out on the floor. So we know how, and because all of us are Cowboy fans and stuff like that, but there are some who are a little bit more dedicated and a little bit more obnoxious than I can be at times. But for the first time in a long time, they started this up last year, where fans was threatening to walk away. And then this year, we started to hear more of that. We're starting to hear where fans are starting to say they're going to boycott the games. They're not going to support. They're not going to go to the stadiums. And for the first time ever, I've never seen Michael Irvin this upset. The last time I seen him this upset is when they got beat up by Packers. But he's always been in Jerry's corner forever. And this is the first time he said that he is not happy with the decision that Mr. Jones made.
Mm-hmm.
But let them win 14 games next year and see how much all that talk goes out the window.
That ain't going to happen, J-Dub.
I'm just saying, Fairweather fans, we come and go.
That's not going to happen.
J-Dub is right, because I remember when they picked the kid from Wisconsin who got getting Ray syndrome, their center. What was it? Travis Frederick.
Oh, yeah.
When they picked him from Wisconsin with that pick, everybody was like, this is stupid. He came out and for a while was the best center in the whole league, and everybody like now they end up got the executive of the year award or something like that. Stephen Jones got or something like that. So that was a great decision. So you're right. I mean, that was a bad pick. It worked out.
Now, if they have another season like this season, or even an 8 or 9-8 next year, you're still going to have some of that talk. But I mean, again, fans come and go so quick, but they're always going to turn that TV on.
Yeah. So Brian Schottenheimer, if you're watching, go talk to Sean McDermott and those guys over there. They listened to us last week. They watched the show and they listened to us. So I want you to listen to me right now. Mm-hmm. When you coach the Dallas Cowboys, the only thing we want to do is we just want you to win games. And if you can't win games, at least look like you know what you're doing on the sideline. Yeah. Understand the cameras are always watching. Watch your facial expression. Whatever you got to do, look like you know what you're doing. Because if you don't win games and you don't know what you're doing, it's a wrap, bro.
Yeah, I just want to see a sense of urgency, and I want to see some guys playing with some passion and intensity. If I could just get that, okay, and they only won 7 games, I won't be hating them too bad. So
you said 7 games. That's all you looking for? Oh no, I need 11. I need playoff.
Here we go again. Here we go.
Playoff or bust.
Starting early.
Playoff or bust. You got everybody healthy coming back. Playoff or bust. So I saw it. Jada, what you think?
But I mean, again, I think I've said all I can say. The fans are going to keep showing up and showing out. I got Cowboy fans up here in Montana, right? They still wear their stars.
Oh, you're not a Cowboy fan?
I'm the borderline Cowboy fan. I want them to do well. I want them to do well.
I'm recovering.
Right. I'm always the most exciting was Dak's rookie year when they were and everybody was talking about him. I was like, man, yeah, this is a team I can get behind, and then it's been downhill ever since that. But they're always going to be supported. They're the 3rd biggest franchise in the world for a reason. So I mean, if the fans are threatening to leave because of a coach, then it ain't going to take much for them to come back.
They're not going. Okay, real quick, everybody's got to give me a number. J-Dub, how many games does Cowboys win next year?
But I'm gonna keep it simple and easy, and I'm gonna say 7 to 9.
Oh, I want one number.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go 7.
Okay. E.
I say they win 9.
Okay, I'm gonna say they win 8. So we're all over.
That's 7 to 9.
Cowboys need a running back, a couple of offensive linemen. Boy, do they ever! And they also need a secondary, Bob.
That's the whole team, a running back and a couple offensive linemen. That's the whole offense right there.
Every team needs that.
They've been struggling, man. Because oh my God, those tackles and has been getting beat. So
Hey Bob, can we have your Packers? Can we have the running back from the Packers that I love so much? Is that okay? Can the Cowboys have that Packer running back?
All right, anybody. So we're gonna go down to our final words, y'all. It's been a great show, man. Once again, thanks for Christy for joining us, throwing us for coming on the show, and she'll be back as we continue to talk about more of the WNBA, especially when the league starts. So she'll be back there. And y'all, so any final words, J-Dub? Let's start with you.
Man, college basketball is heating up. I got to watch a couple good games. I don't even remember who they were, but the fact that they were close games, I'm just saying because it was on in the background as I was doing other stuff. But the fact that they were close games is, this is the time of year that March Madness really starts at the beginning of February. But I don't know if y'all got to see Cooper Flagg, and I know he's overhyped, but a lot of people don't remember he's only 18. That man is going to be something different. Obviously women's basketball has been good. Juju's been doing her thing. I try to catch all her games. Let's watch the Super Bowl. Let's hope Saquon Barkley wins MVP of the Super Bowl and the league. And time to move on to the next sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I got this come up from Joseph Submet saying "Go Birds." And I guess he's a Philadelphia Eagles song.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
On our way to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. Get a touchdown. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, gosh.
Hit them low, hit them high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. On the way to victory. EAGLES, Eagles. I'm sorry, I did that for you, Joseph.
That's funny. That's for my cousin. That's for my cousins, man. No deal for Josh Jacobs. Oh, come on, Bob.
For life.
Josh is a beast, man. He's a beast. So my final words is I caught what I thought was one of the best college men's basketball games during the season. I caught University of Houston and Kansas at Kansas this week.
Oh wow, that's
and it was double overtime, bro. Kelvin Sampson's got those Cougars, man. He got them rolling again. So
that's what's up.
They're going to have another great year, and man, they got some dogs on that team. And and Kansas will have they'll make the tournament and they'll be fine. But yeah, I was impressed with Houston winning that game on the road in double overtime. So
yeah, my wife, we was out at Bob's Steakhouse and we got a chance to win that.
Watch that game.
Yeah, she was going for Houston. I was, of course, I'm both of them Big 12, but I was going for Kansas because that's my team right there.
Yeah, but final thoughts, Super Bowl's going to be good. I mean, how can it not? What the guys that we love on both those teams are playing in it, and may the best team win. And And so and then like J-Dub said, basketball's getting ready to get, it already is, but we're going to be talking hard about it, next week and for the weeks to come, which is going to be fun. So, 'cause we're all hoop guys. So,
right. So my final words is, yes, sir. Football got 2 more weeks and it's over with, and we'll be out of football. We're back in the deep dive of finishing up the Unrivaled League, going into March Madness, and then of course the NBA is in full swing right now. You're coming up on the All-Star break. Congratulations to all the guys who have now started for the All-Star break. Wembley didn't make it, but that was okay. Y'all quit acting like he deserved it. I mean, he deserved it, but it's a lot more talent in the league besides him. So I'm glad with the starting 5 they got. Also, starting here at the end of this week, January 30th, we're back to traditional golf. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watch golf, but
the little indoor golf has been fun.
It's been but I didn't like it, Jada. I just couldn't get with it.
It's cold outside. They ain't going to play on the greens right now.
Man, I'm with you. I'm with you, EC. Man, I tried. I gave it the whole college try, man.
I'm sorry. We're gonna go back real quick. This is why I've enjoyed Unrivaled so far. I like leagues where they're mic'd up. I like to be able to hear what they're talking.
Okay,
the best thing they did during COVID. The best thing they did during COVID was that little thing. It was like Tiger and Rory and all of them mic'd up in shorts, and they were talking the whole time. So I get it. It's video golf. It's not real. It's a video game. But they're mic'd up. They're talking. Again, I've only seen it twice. I've only watched twice. I'm not scheduling my day around watching indoor golf on TV. But no, it's been fun. And the last thing I did want to say, I'm sorry. This was a good football season from top to bottom.
It was.
We had some dominant guys that were there, but the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs. We had some. Detroit came around the corner. Minnesota came out of nowhere. It was a good season.
Green
if
Bay.
the Bengals make the playoffs, it's one of my favorite seasons that have ever happened.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
nice,
man.
Nice.
That would have been
nice.
Oh, yeah. I would have chose Bengals over Broncos all day.
Oh,
easy. But y'all, man, my thing about the Unrivaled League, because I played simulator golf, and simulator golf make me look like I'm a professional. So I'm like, if they getting paid that much money, well, I need to be in that league, man.
But I just like the it's not so stuffy. I like it that they were relaxed. They're out there talking. I think a couple of them were drinking of them while they were playing.
Oh yeah. They was in chill mode. It wasn't about trying. It was because they got paid. I mean, the difference when you're trying to get a check. Like, man, this is all. Everybody hush, be quiet. I'm trying to, but this you're getting paid just to have a fan experience. So it was what it was. I give a lot of credit on that. But like I say, welcome back to the FedEx Cup, man. Real golf starts on January 30th. So.
Praise the Lord.
So that's all we have right now for the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Y'all, thanks again for watching, man. J-Dub, we appreciate it. Thanks for being back in the house. I know you got to go back to work and go do some things. Coach D-Wade, man, thanks you for all the love and that you've been showing and the energy you bring to the show. And bringing on these extra guests, man. Guests. Also, keep reaching out to Chris McKinney, man. We'll definitely love to have him back on the show if he wants to come back on.
1,000%.
And we definitely got to bring Chrissy back on, man. Anybody that you contact and touch with, man, just throw that show out there. And J-Dub, you do the well. I've been reaching out to folks. Ray is going to come on next week. Ray Admire is going to come on next week. He's going to we're going to get into football. Yeah, you remember he responded. So we're going to get Ray to come on and do our Super Bowl show with us, whatever. So that'll be cool. So y'all, that's all I have. This is your boy EC22 along with J-Dub and Coach D-Wade, man. This has been the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Before we go, please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, but also join the conversation, y'all. And we are out. Awesome.